Hello everybody, thank you so much for watching this video. College savings and how to plan well for this process. So if you're a parent, first thing I want to tell you is that if you don't plan for your kids' college and you do a good job of preparing for your own retirement and you work hard, that's okay. You don't have to pay for your kids' college. So just take a little bit of a load off and recognize that it is more important to make sure that you're going to be able to be cared for than it is that you send your kids off to college. Because guess what? If you don't do a good job preparing for your own future, then in the end, your kids will end up paying that price. So take care of your own retirement first, and then we're going to talk about getting ready and going on to plan for college. This is what we would consider step 5, especially if you're following the baby step plan or if you're following some of the plans that I've laid out. Very, very similar to the Dave Ramsey's program. And that is going to be where you're going to save for your college. So there's two vehicles that are very, very useful here. One is the 529 plan. The other one is the educational savings account. The educational savings account is the ideal layout where you put money in and you control all the investments, where things move. Nothing is happening automatically. So we often will talk about educational savings accounts as the way to save for college. But you can use the 529 as well, if the 529 follows a couple of steps. It needs to be actual savings and not necessarily prepaid tuition, because you should be able to earn more on your savings than you do in just prepaid tuition. The second piece here is that it needs to be self-directed. A lot of 529 plans you don't have much control of. They automatically invest in certain things, and then as your child gets older, it automatically adjusts. You really would prefer to stay away from those and have full control over those. That you want to be looking for here is similar to retirement. You want to be using growth stock mutual funds. They're going to be large cap, mid cap, some small cap maybe. Although with this type of investing, you want it to be fairly safe, so be a little careful with being too aggressive. Maybe stick to your large and mid caps. That way you don't have a huge collapse right as you're getting to the end where you're ready to pay for college. Here's another great tip for the college student. Make sure that your student is prepared to choose college really well. If you do a poor job of this part of it, you're going to end up not being able to save enough, even if you've got a pretty big chunk. Consider for the fact that most in-state colleges are about half the cost of a private school, and out-of-state tuition for a public college can be even more than private college in your state. So be very, very careful with crossing state lines and make sure that you're choosing a school for the right reasons. The next thing here to consider is choosing something that is applicable in the market. To go to college to just find yourself is probably not going to be a great choice. Remember that your college student is probably not making all of the best decisions, and parents, you really want to walk very closely with your student through this time. And students, here's a message to you. When you get to college, you're probably going to need to work. Get a job. And I'm not talking about just flipping burgers. This will be a great time to learn some entrepreneurial skills. House sitting, dog walking, maybe cleaning out cars or detailing cars on the weekends. Some of those things can pay you $20+ an hour, whereas flipping burgers is going to be minimum wage. So I'm really encouraging you to get creative and bring in some income. You don't need a ton of money beyond tuition and housing while you're in school. So maybe you take it a little easy on some activities while you're doing this. This is to get your education. You're not necessarily just here to party. Although I do think that a college experience is important, it just can't be all the time spending. There's going to need to be some working as well. And remember, coming out of college with a degree and having entrepreneurial experience is going to make you very hireable. Don't get discouraged if you can't save for your kids' college, and if you aren't able to, at least give them these few pointers. Choose a great school, make sure you're getting a good job, and work hard. The final piece of this whole picture is scholarships. In your senior year, or maybe even in your junior year, most students who would spend at least 1 hour a day applying for scholarships would find that they would have had enough of scholarships to pay for their first full semester, possibly even their first full year. And that will give a big boost to your savings. Thank you for watching this video. I hope that you found it very, very helpful. Never hesitate to like, subscribe, or comment down below if you have further questions.